We're live.
Welcome to the 8th edition of the Times Techies webinar. I have my colleague Sujit John, who's also participating in today's webinar. It's a momentous occasion for us as we turned one recently, and I'd like to take a moment to thank our readers, our viewers, and my colleague Sujit, who's driving Techies, and to the rest of the team for making it one of the widely read tech properties by the Techies and for the Techies. We started Times Techies to celebrate the rise of technologists and how a new generation of talented developers are creating cutting-edge solutions. We meet the managements of several companies often, but we thought it was time to put the spotlight on developers, and that's how Times Techies has evolved in the last 1 year. In today's webinar, we have two ethical hackers and bug bounty hunters, Krishna Kothapalli and Anand Prakash, who will be speaking to us on bug bounty hunting, a lucrative career option for Indian techies. Welcome Sai and Anand to today's webinar.
Hello guys.
Thank you, Shilpa.
Hello everyone. Sai Krishna Kothapalli is a computer science graduate from IIT Guwahati. While in college, he used to actively participate in bug bounty programs and earn bounties and Hall of Fame in companies like Microsoft, Medium, Branch, and others. Sai advises professionals across the country on security. He works with several security companies to keep them attack-proof. That's how his brainchild HackCrew was born. Within a few months of its conception, he signed an MOU with the government of Telangana, under whose umbrella a live hacking event was organized in July last year. In less than 10 hours, 30 hackers worked relentlessly to uncover vulnerabilities, and around 150 reports were submitted. HackCrew paid over 10 lakh in bounty in exchange for keeping the online infrastructure of the state government secure. Anand Prakash is a security researcher and CEO of AppSecure. He's very well known for finding bugs in some of the world's most popular apps and websites. He thrives off bug bounties, large cash prizes he earns from companies in exchange for successful hacking their systems and showing them security flaws. He has discovered vulnerabilities in Facebook, Twitter, and Uber. For the past 5 years, Facebook has ranked Anand as one of their top bug bounty hunters. And on Twitter's bounty program, he's ranked number 3 worldwide. Anand's reputation as a hacker has led him to be featured in the 2017 Forbes 30 Under 30 for enterprise technology in Asia. Anand has earned more than 3 crore in bounties in the past few years. Welcome, Sai and Anand, and over to you both.
Thank you, Shilpa. Yes,
Shilpa,
so
I'll share my screen. So thank you for that wonderful introduction. So Anand, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, so I'm founder of AppSecure. I'm ex-Flipkart. I worked with Flipkart as a security engineer. I'm Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia Enterprise Tech 2017. I started my bug bounty hunting career in 2013. I was ranked somewhere around 39th at that point of time. In 2014, I was ranked 2nd worldwide, 15th third, 16th second, 2017 5th rank. I have found interesting bugs in like hacking into someone else's account, posting from someone else's Facebook account, which made me get this rank on Facebook. I'm ranked 4th in Uber's bug bounty program till date, and 3rd in bug bounty list of Twitter till date. Sai, over to you.
Yeah. So I'm Sai Krishna Kothapalli. So I'm the founder and CEO of HackCrew. I studied from IIT Guwahati. So I'm also the editor of InfoSec Write-Up's publication on Medium. So I'm a part-time bug bounty hunter right now. So we are right now working on improving the cybersecurity scenario in India. So, and I also participate in a lot of CTF contests. So today's agenda is, we'll talk about, quickly talk about what is bug bounty and why should we care. We'll go into some case studies, and we'll talk about the Indian case scenario, and what does it mean for the Indian techies, and how do you get started in it. So a bug bounty, you can simply put it as a company or organization giving a permission to hack the systems, and report security vulnerabilities to the security teams, and so that they can get them fixed, and they offer some kind of bounty in return. So that is bug bounty hunting, very simple. So so why should we care? So if you're a company or some organization, right, so you should think about how these kind of security vulnerabilities are affecting our users and their data. And if you're a user, you can think about how is your data getting affected, is it secure or not, while you're you know using some application online. If you are a security researcher or a white hat hacker, right, you can basically make like lots of money to be made, at the same time, secure, making the world more secure. If you don't believe me, you can ask Anand regarding this. Over to you, Anand.
Yeah. So I found a bug in Uber which allowed me to log in into anyone's Uber account, Uber rider account, Uber partner account, Uber restaurant account. This bug was disclosed in September 2019. So basically, without needing your password or OTP, I could have logged in into your account. I could have seen where you went in last few days, last few years. I could have known where are you going right now, and I could have seen your payment method information as well. I could have also used your Uber account to request a ride and make you pay for that. So this bug was fixed by Uber in a very fast manner, and they paid me somewhere around 6,500 US dollars for this particular bug. And this bug allowed me to get hold of your access token without entering your credentials or OTP of yours. So you can read more technical details on my blog. The link is there in the slide, how I did that. And you can also try figuring out similar vulnerabilities across all the apps. The second one is the Twitter issue. So what if I say I could have tweeted from your Twitter account? I could have tweeted from any celebrity account, any politician account, any Twitter account without needing any password, any OTP, nothing. So this was quite possible. This was a simple bug. So while doing the tweet, if I change user ID of mine to your user ID using my account, then the tweet will be posted from your account. So this was that easy, and I could have also deleted tweets from any account. So this bug could have created wars on Twitter. Twitter fixed it as well, and they paid me $5040 bounty for it. So whatever bugs I have discussed, right, they were all discussed in a very ethical way. They were sent directly to security teams of Twitter and Uber or Facebook, and they gave me permission to write about these bugs in public. So we cannot disclose a vulnerability without letting company fix it, or if we don't get any payout or something like that. So we have to act in a very ethical manner and make sure we are not compromising data of any user in the world. So that was the bug.
So apart from these big MNCs like Uber, Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter, right? So the US Department of Defense and the Singapore military and US Pentagon, right? These kind of government agencies also worldwide are shifting to bug bounties these days to make the networks even more secure. So along the lines, while talking about it, right, we will also talk about how what is the state of bug bounties and responsible disclosure in India like a couple of years ago. So 2 years ago, I reported a serious. So this is a case study about BSNL. I also published a blog. You can find the link here. So 2 years ago, I reported a serious, simple security vulnerability in a BSNL intranet website. I had access to an entire internet database which had a lot of sensitive information. So the database dates like long back to uh, like at least like 10 years back. So it had like all the private details of their employees, their email IDs, their whatever, how much salary are they earning, how much pension will they get, so everything like that, and some tendering related documents, etc., etc. So this was a very simple vulnerability to find, but at the same time the criticality of this issue is very much. So what I did was I tried to contact the, because I was used to doing bug bounties in general. Uh, I wanted to contact some person who is responsible for fixing security vulnerabilities in BSNL at that time. So what happened was I found the managing director email ID on the BSNL website, and then I directly mailed him. So my name is Sai Krishna. I'm a third year student in IIT Guwahati. So I found this, and I was expecting a reply, because this is how what I will do in general. If I find something in some US company, right, I would just ping them on LinkedIn, or write them a mail asking them if they have a bug bounty program or responsible disclosure program, so that I can follow those steps. Um, so here I mailed it, and I didn't get any reply at that time. And then I thought he might be a busy person, so let me find some other employees email IDs who are like some these people are holding some good positions there. So I mailed some 2 3 of them, and then I didn't get any reply. So I reached out to them on Twitter at that time. I didn't get a reply. I messaged to them on Facebook, like, can I get a mail ID or CTO, like somebody who would read my mail? And I didn't get any reply. So I got frustrated, and one of my friend, right? So he was like, you should tag some the PM, and then you should tweet it. So I tweeted at that time. I didn't get any reply from after that. So
Really?
yeah. So I tried all these are like I went to a great lengths to report it, taking my personal time out of it, because there's no incentive also for reporting it. So I still didn't get any reply. So I gave up after that point. So what happened was there was this uh, French hacker who goes by the name
Elliot
Elliot Anderson.
Anderson.
So he reported. I saw his tweet that BSNL. I found some bug in BSNL. You contact me, and BSNL immediately contacted him, like in 24 hours, and they fixed the bug in 24 hours. So I reached out to him. It's good that they contacted you. Like I tried reporting something, and nothing happened after that. So then we discussed, like he asked me what did you find, and also we discussed, and then he told me that he one of the issues he found was the same issue. So that is the state of cyber security related to Indian government in a couple of years ago. So like like uh, this article from Quinn says that the 22,000 Indian websites have been hacked between April 2017 and January 2018. So that is the number is a lot in that small time frame, and there must be even more which are not reported.
Mm.
So every now and then we hear that some other country hackers, like they deface some kind of website or etc etc. These kind of things are happening every now and then. So in India right now, this is how you report vulnerabilities. Like either you go to certain website or NCIPC website. The NCIPC is being very proactive compared to certain these days. So these days I see on LinkedIn, like a lot of Indian bug bounty hunters and security researchers are reporting lots of vulnerabilities to NCIPC, and then they're acknowledging the vulnerabilities also, and they're getting it fixed. So that is the change I noticed in this past couple of years. But still there's a long way to go, and there's a huge scope of improvement as well. uh, Anand, you
Yes.
can talk about how Indian companies are handling VDPs and bug bounties.
Yes. So basically, if we look at the above example, which was given by Sai, right? So he tried reaching out BSNL across multiple channels. He reached out to the CEO on Twitter, on Facebook, even Narendra Modi. He tried everything. So that is the big issue over here with most of the companies. So the issue is companies don't have a vulnerability disclosure program, uh, which is VDP. We call it as VDP or a bug bounty program. So few of the Indian companies do run such programs. Companies are Flipkart, Ola, Grofers, Oyo, Paytm. So if you report, if an ethical hacker finds a vulnerability in these companies, right, then they will get rewarded for it. They have their own security team who will triage a particular vulnerability, will work upon fixing it. And once the issue is fixed, the team will come back to the researcher saying, we have fixed the issue and this is how much we are going to reward you, something like that. So there are two kind of people. One who is like me, who is trying to report vulnerabilities in companies who offer bug bounty programs, and the companies who don't have legal implications. So I was more worried about legal implications. So I never try to find vulnerabilities in other companies. So let's say if I'm trying it out in BSNL. So as per Indian IT Act, I can be in jail. I cannot try to figure out without having a VDP or a bug bounty program. But these are the companies which allow such things, and ethical hackers should try to figure out vulnerabilities and report ethically to companies. In other scenario, we have companies, MNCs like Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Facebook, Dropbox, who also run similar programs. So the whole idea is, if you are running a company, you should open up some kind of basic vulnerability disclosure program, even if you are not offering a reward. That will enable hackers like me or Sai to reach out to companies directly, to the right people in the company, and make sure a vulnerability is fixed without compromising any user data. So that is the ideal goal. Even if you are not offering a bug bounty, that's okay, but you should have a VDP program, so that people like me and Sai can also report in BSNL by just emailing to the right email instead of reaching out to companies on multiple email addresses as well as multiple channels.
So the entire bug bounty, the ecosystem is very much mature in other countries, and India. I saw, like, in the past years, I saw a dramatic shift, but it's still going on right now in India.
Yes, so this is the current Indian scenario. So we have 23% hackers, even more than US, and we have largest number of hackers all over the world. This is as per the report, which is
Mentioned here.
powered by HackerOne, Bugcrowd, and other bounty platforms. Um, so I think we should leverage ethical hackers who are sitting in our country.
Yeah, so basically we have the highest proportion of ethical hackers, and we are helping, like, US Department of Defense. I saw a lot of reports, like, some publicly disclosed reports, right? So I see that Indian hackers are helping the other governments to secure themselves. Instead, we should also focus on leveraging the talent to fix our stuff before. And
Yes, yeah, and in 2018, I was also invited to U.S. Department of Defense to in a live hacking event powered by HackerOne. So if we should also try doing such things. I think Sai is also trying to get it at a fast speed for the entire Indian government and Indian companies. So I think we'll be securing more and more going forward. So if you look at the graph, right, this is how much money went from US to India. You can see the money which is
so on the left
going
side, it's
in.
the countries where programs are located, where the companies are located. On the right hand, you can see where the ethical hackers are located. So on the left hand, you don't see
Yes.
any Indian name, because
Okay.
we are not putting money into bug bounties and
Yes.
all. But on the other
Okay.
hand, you are getting a lot of money into the India because of the bug bounties.
So bug bounty, if you look at the current Indian scenario, right, bug bounties, if if my average salary is, let's say, 2 lakhs per year, right, I would be earning, 2 into 16, to multiply it by 16 per year if I do bug bounty. So that is the that is
That is the
the
current scenario.
scenario.
Basically, the top hackers, right, based in India, are earning 16 times the median salary of software engineers in India.
These are the top guys,
Yeah,
not
the
the
top guys,
average.
not the average guys. These are the top guys.
So
So
I can now discuss on how to get started in bug
so
bounties.
this is how I got started. I was initially doing capture the flag contests. These are basically little hacking challenges where you have to crack those challenges to get access to a flag, which is basically a string. Um, as a proof that I cracked this challenge. As an example, let's say they will give you like a login panel and you don't know the username and password. So you need to somehow figure out some security loophole in that challenge to get access to that flag. That is how I started. That is what made me curious, so I started my career with doing CTF contests in college, and then I got to know about bug bounties, and then I met the huge bug bounty people like who are in India, and then they advised me that you should go to and read OWASP and stuff. So OWASP is the Open Web Application Security Project. So it's like you can say like it's kind of like a Wikipedia but for security vulnerabilities. They also have like lots of tools and uh, intentionally vulnerable applications which you can test and then for learning new vulnerabilities and stuff. You can also then at the like couple of years ago I also started a infosec write-up publication on Medium. Maybe after this I'll just show you. Basically there like we now have like 200 to 300 writers from all over the world. So whatever they find, whatever the scenario, what are the interesting case study they found, right? So they write a detailed blog about I did this and then I found this vulnerability, so I exploited it this way in a very precise manner. So if for any newbies, right, it is like a very nice resource for people to get started. You can also get, if for example Anand also writes like a lot of I think all of his major vulnerabilities are like disclosed on his blog, so you can go and read such blogs, just understand. Then there's like Anand can say probably about this, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, there wasn't this much content online. It was very
Yes.
hard to find even like what are the new exploits coming out and what are the new techniques going on. But right now there are like lots of YouTube channels and lots of labs online. There are like lots of content online, like the possibilities are endless, literally. Just you need to spend, if bug bounty has a some steep learning curve, you just need to
Yeah.
spend
So
some time.
when
Yeah,
I started,
go on, Anand.
sorry, there was some internet connection issue. So
Yeah,
when I started, there were very few resources which were available online, and I had to Google everything to learn security. And now you have a lot of write-ups coming in from researchers and a lot of content which is available online. So you can obviously, anyone who wants to learn can learn by simply googling stuff. So it's that easy, and there are a lot of books available as well. When you start security, right, you may end up finding a lot of vulnerabilities in companies who are not doing security already. So I would request all bug bounty hunters to act in an ethical manner. Never try to threaten a company for bounties. Never try to disclose issues, because it's you who is trying to figure out vulnerabilities. You should try to act in an ethical way. That is very
yeah,
important. The company may offer you a job, but you should try to act in an ethical way.
Yeah, Anand's line is not so good, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically what he wanted to say is that you need to have that kind of ethical
Spoil your
ethics.
reputation. I see a lot of newbies doing that these days. So that is my advice. And try to Google. If you don't know anything, if you don't work suite or any software.
Okay, it just came at 2x speed all of it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Anand has switched off his video, I
I've
think.
turned off my video as
Yeah,
well.
now it's
Yeah,
good.
I think there was a problem with your line. Anand, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
No.
I can hear you guys.
Anand, if you can
So
repeat the
what I
last
was
line.
trying to
Yeah.
say is try to the new. Yes, so if all the new bounty hunters who are trying to learn, they will end up finding a lot of vulnerabilities in very new Indian startups as well as old startups who are not doing security already. So they should try to act in an ethical way by reporting vulnerabilities to companies rather than threatening them with disclosing
Mhm.
issues or asking them to pay bounties, because company is anyways not asking you for looking out for vulnerabilities, and as per our law it's illegal. So that also needs to be changed. But if a company is running vulnerability disclosure program or a bug bounty program, then we are good. You can try figuring out issues.
So
Sai, you can continue now.
yeah, that is it, guys. So we can go to the Q&A session. I think this will be interesting because lots of people will have different queries. So both Anand and I are like waiting for this.
Just one question from my side, and excellent. I mean, I enjoyed it. So, basic qualification, you must be a good coder. Is it a good programmer?
No, that is like, you know, it will help you certainly, but it's not like a basic requirement, because I follow one person on Twitter, so he's from a different country. He is a surgeon, and then he got into bug bounties.
Okay.
So people from different artistic backgrounds and lots of people, right? They're like, you know, they started reading, and then, you know, they started interacting with the community. One thing I love about the bug bounty community is that, you know, they share whatever they find, right? Let it be like delayed by 1-2 days, but it comes out. They share on blogs. They detailedly they share everything. So it's just up to you.
Okay.
Basically,
but ultimately,
knowing coding and, you know, basics of you know, web development and these kind of things will certainly give you an upper hand, but not knowing them is not like, you know, you can't do it. There's nothing like you can't do it or anything.
And
okay,
yeah,
okay.
I would like to add one more point. So if you want to earn more bounties, you should know how to code.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry. What did you say, Anand?
So I said, if you want to earn more bounties, if you want to earn more money,
You
you
should
should know
learn to
coding.
code. Oh,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, but just a reminder to the audience, the chat box is open, so please, your questions are welcome. We'll Shilpa and I'll ask those questions to Sai and Anand. Shilpa?
We already have the first question, Sai and Anand. It's coming from Priyam Loganathan. Priyam wants to know, is there any online course you would recommend to get started with bug bounty?
Should I go first, Anand?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So I personally think online courses are not necessary for bug bounty hunting because there's already so much content, and all the content is like open source. Like, you know, like OWASP is it's literally says, you know, Open Web Application Security Project. It's there are like thousands of contributors from all around the world who are maintaining it up. They're maintaining, like, you know, up to date of, you know, how to break something, how to fix something, these kind of issues. So there's like, instead of investing money in some course, right, just spend some time like getting an overview on these topics. Initially when I was starting, right, that is what, you know, there was a moment of epiphany, like uh, it was not making any sense to me initially, and then suddenly everything started to get connected. Okay, everything is connected, and, you know, I got an overview. So once I got an overview, it's easier for me to learn other stuff in the same domain. So you just need to be patient until you get to that point, and all the content is out there for free. So I
Really?
advise to not spend money on even these
Yes.
courses will teach you the same thing. So instead you can just do a little bit more hard work, and it would pay you more in return, because somebody might teach you like 2 techniques to hack somewhere, but if you're learning on your own, right, you will come up with some 15-20 techniques, because everybody writes in a different way. You will get some new insights into it.
Anand, you agree?
Yes. So basically, what I would suggest everyone who is trying to learn things are he should basically have basic knowledge of some coding language, let's say Java, Python, PHP, some coding language, and then it's all open source. Then he can Google what is OS top 10. There will be 10 categories of vulnerabilities which are figured out by most of the security researchers, and against each one of them he can read blogs of researchers, so he can try replicating those vulnerabilities on his own, and that's how he can learn easily. So I completely agree with Sai, everything is available online, but if you go via sequence, then that will definitely help you to learn security in a faster way.
Like, I remember opening OWASP, there's an attack section, okay, and there are like so many names which I've never heard before. So I literally used to copy each attack name and then used to Google and then read like
Yes.
50, 100 articles about each name. So I used to know, okay, there is like so much in depth to just this one particular category of bugs. Then you know that, okay, something like this happened in Facebook, or because of this technology they're using, something happened in Google. And then you're like, okay, then it all starts making sense to you. So it's like 80% is just reading initially and understanding.
And subsequently describe a day in your life. What do you do when you're as a hacker?
As a hacker, so since I'm kind of running my own company right now, I have the liberty of taking days off. So when I'm in my days off, I don't hack or anything. So I read books, I listen to audiobooks, and I play games a lot. Uh, when I have when I'm working, right, there's like lots of work, because for me personally, once I start looking into an application, right, so I start with understanding the uh, how it is built, and what is there is a flow to any application. So I want to understand that application. So if I just break that flow, right, then it takes a lot of time to get back into the flow again. So I go on a stretches of like 4 to 5 hours, like I just spend looking at that application, seeing how it works. Okay, there's like a registration portal, so what if I register with this email ID, what happens? So trying to understand the application takes a lot of my time, and then breaking it takes the other half of my time.
Okay. Breaking it. So to break it, what do you do?
So basically you need to see, it's basically I like finding logical vulnerabilities. Let's say there's like a coupon, and you say, like, you apply this coupon, you'll get 10% discount. Okay, so what if there's a way to apply that coupon like 10 times, and then you will get like 10 times the discount? So I need to check, like, if the developer, did he code that edge case or not? What if I send another request with the same thing? Like, what will happen? So did the developer think of that case or not? So it's mostly we do black box testing. So you don't know what the code is actually. So you try to imagine, okay, so the developer, did he think of this thing? Okay, there is a chance that, this is a very much edge case, so he might not have thought of this. Let me try this. And surprisingly, it works really well. So, and that thing, right, it comes with experience, with some little, because initially I couldn't do that. I used to just throw everything I know at it, at the application. And then slowly I developed this kind of intuition, like, if like, it's a registration portal, or like, if they're verifying you based on your OTP, then there are certain scenarios that can happen. So with experience, by reading blogs, right, what kind of scenarios are possible, and then you do those things.
Anand, you want to add to that?
Yes. So for me, when I was a bug bounty hunter, for me, it was like I used to do bug bounty hunting on Saturdays and Sundays. So literally, if I talk about a Facebook bug which allowed me to take over any account, I figured out that bug in somewhere around 30 minutes of time. Uh, that paid me somewhere around 10 lakhs for that 30 minutes. So sometimes it's just 30 minutes, sometimes it's even months. So if you are a new bug bounty hunter, I would say sometimes it may take a lot of time for you to figure out your first vulnerability or to figure out more critical vulnerabilities. So don't get demotivated.
So
And
one more thing I wanted to add is that so Anand went, and I, right, we were invited to IIT Kanpur to give a talk. So then he found that Facebook bug at that time only. Then we were talking, and then he said, like, what, Tinder is exciting, so let me try Tinder. So, and then he was so persistent. Within like 3-4 months, after 3-4 months, he found a vulnerability in Tinder. He could have logged into any Tinder account. So that is the kind of persistency you need as a bug bounty hunter. So it's not like by chance he found it. So he wanted to find it, and he didn't stop until he found it.
Okay.
yes, it took me somewhere around 3 months. I met Sai in IITK, and after that, next time he saw a blog post coming in that and hacker could have taken over all your Tinder accounts, something like that. And he said, "Wow,
You really did it.
yeah,
Because I thought he was joking initially. He was like, I want to find it on Twitter, because uh, for me, right, try to find bugs in the applications I use the most. Like there's some Google application I'm using. So, and then because I know the flow already, so I get ideas, I can do this, I can do that. So I don't spend time much on, new applications, but like digging deep into some new application and finding that logical vulnerability, or, it's just mind blowing for me.
There's a related question from Rajashekar T. Do certifications like CEH or OSCP help in getting jobs in this domain? Also, do you guys offer internships in your firms?
Anand, go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, I don't have any certifications as such. And again, I would, if you want to get in cybersecurity domain, definitely certifications like CEH, OSCP are good. You can try them out and you will definitely get a security engineer job as well. But if you want to think out of the box, and if you don't think you want to go via the certificate route, I would recommend you finding more and more bugs in big MNCs. That will automatically build, and that's a way to prove it. Because if you go via CEH or SCP, obviously you will have multiple interview rounds and everything. But if you go via the bug bounty route, your research will already be public, and it would be very easier for you to get a job. And regarding internships, yes, we are hiring for security engineer roles as well as development roles in my company, as well as I think inside companies too. So we can post out links related to that.
So I also don't have any kind of certifications. Basically, certifications are, to prove that you know something, right? So as Anand pointed out, so if you find like, legit security vulnerabilities in big MNCs, so your research is already out that, you are doing some good work. So there's no need to prove again via having certifications and all. But there are some good certifications which will help you learn some stuff. But other than that, they're not like a necessity or prerequisite.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So
we're getting a lot of questions.
Yeah. One thing I would like to add is that, whatever you're finding, that blog about them, so that, when your recruiters see your blog, they will have an idea of, what all stuff you know.
Okay.
Beforehand.
Okay. Again, one more related question from Khushbu Srivastava. Is learning computer networking needed for entering in this domain, like basics, IP, MAC address, OSI stack?
I would say yes. You should have basic knowledge of computer networking if you want to get started into security. But there are different kind of fields in security. Let's say there is mobile application security, web application security, as well as network security. So if you want to get into network security in such, then you need to learn these things. But for application security, mobile AppSec, they are not mandatory, but may help you in some exploiting some vulnerabilities in future.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Shilpa, any questions?
We have the next question from Ishan Pathak.
Shilpa, can't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Shilpa? Okay, let me ask. Ishan Pathak's question was: Is knowledge of AWS Azure beneficial in ethical hacking?
So if you want to get into infrastructure security, then it's a win-win for you. So obviously, if you're finding something in application security, it may relate to AWS or Azure or GCP at some point of time. So it's beneficial. But if you want to get into cloud security role, then I would say that is mandatory, but not for AppSec.
And right now, that all the applications or bug bound, like lots of things are hosted on AWS, GCP, and Azure. So having that knowledge would help you even in doing bug bounties as well.
Shilpa?
Yeah, we have a question from Ishan Pathak.
Is knowledge? We already asked Shilpa. Which
For
one, AWS
AWS,
Azure?
yeah, Azure.
We already asked that.
Oh, okay, great. All
yeah,
right.
there was another one from, yeah, there was an audience question. I don't understand this issue question fully myself, but what is your thought of the recent BigIP issue that everyone is trying to exploit without giving some time for the companies to fix it?
So 4 days ago, right? 4 days ago, one CVE was reported that there's a software that is being used by a lot of companies, and there was a security vulnerability in that software which was published. So a lot of bug bounty hunters are immediately, they got the exploit, and then they started reporting to the companies immediately. Um, in a way it is good, and in a way it is like let's say if the company is not aware that one of the systems is exposed and all, it's good that the company will now know and they will fix it. But some people, they want that quick bounty because something just dropped in the infosec market, and like they want to have some quick cash. So that having so many reports even overwhelms the security teams at this time.
Okay.
And most of these reports will go duplicate, or lots of rules, right? The scope, because every bug bounty program have like a scope and rules, like you should do this or you shouldn't do this. In that they clearly mention that if let's say something is published like this, we will take at least like 2-3 weeks to patch it, so until then we won't award any rewards for that. So
okay. Shilpa?
We have a question from Dev Anand. Could you suggest a roadmap or some resources to get to succeed in bug bounty hunting?
They had done that.
So, yes, I think we have already covered it.
But can you just repeat that? You said that OWASP.
Yeah,
That's a huge resource thing, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we can do is after the call, we can write up something and put it on the live video
Facebook,
section so that you can.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that will be very helpful. But this OWASP thing that's a very good resource, is it?
Yeah. I mean, lots of people I know personally started, into this field from there only.
Yeah.
I also started from there only.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Okay. But you can understand that without understanding coding.
You need to have basic coding knowledge.
You need to have some basic coding.
Basic coding knowledge, but at the same time, there are some class of vulnerabilities which they give examples also. So it's for I mean, they wrote those articles keeping newbies in mind only. So.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, really?
Some of them you will be, some of them you will not be. But
you will not be.
If you want to understand faster, then you should have basic coding knowledge.
Okay.
For example, lots of programming languages I learned while I'm like hacking those things. Like PHP, I never learned PHP like that I need to learn PHP. I was hacking so many PHP applications. I had to see the code and stuff that I got the knack of it. Like this is how this works. This is how this works.
Yeah. So many companies, you participated in several bug bounty hunting programs. So do you also get, a job offer saying that why don't you join our security teams? Has it ever happened with some of the bug bounty hunters?
Yeah,
yes,
a lot of times. That is what Anand was suggesting. Like instead of certification, this is like a much proven route, because like almost 50-60% of the people I know, right, they got some kind of job offer from the companies they reported security vulnerabilities to. So one of my batchmates from IIT, right, he is right now working in one of the companies in India. Like that is what he reported some vulnerability, and they were like, we are, we are in fact looking for a security engineer. So you come over for an interview, and then it went great, and then they offered him a job.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
So no better way than proving yourself by reporting vulnerabilities.
Right.
Okay. So you're saying many of these people who are in these technology companies, IT companies and all that, who know coding, have a good opportunity if they were to put their minds to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they already know how things are built, right, from the developer perspective. So they just need to train their brain a bit, like what are the edge cases that the other developer might miss.
So essentially what we are doing is we are trying to build an app we are trying to break an app which is built by a developer. And developer will have more understanding of the app than us, because we are not having the code. So she will be able to get to learn things faster than us.
Okay.
Right.
There's this question from Mohit Manohar. I found a pop-up open on a website when I was applying for a job on an undisclosed website. It contains an entire page of JS code. Not exactly sure what method to follow and what to find in it. Is it a bug?
Like until
You
and unless
understand
we
that?
see that pop-up, we don't know what it is.
Oh, really? Okay. Contains an entire page of JS code. Okay. You until you look at it, you will not be able to say anything at all.
It can be anything. It might be some XSS payload, or it might be anything.
Okay. Shilpa?
Sai and Anand, as Indian companies are just warming up to, bug bounty hunting programs, very few companies are doing it for now. So how do you draw a line between bug bounty hunting, ethical hacking? So how do you really, find a middle ground there?
So I think Sai is better to comment on that, since he is trying to build something on that lines.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question? Because ethical hacking and bug bounty hunting are like kind of similar only.
Similar, but you mentioned about how it could go as a breach because some programs are not there. Some companies don't run these programs.
Okay.
Right?
I'll give you an example. Okay, the BSNL case study I gave, right?
Yes.
So when I found it, right, I really wanted to report it, because if I don't report it, somebody else might actually exploit it and get all the BSNL employee data, right? So I felt morally obliged to report it. At the same time, a lot of my close friends said, they are like, they advise me not to report it because I will be in trouble otherwise.
No.
So that is what from Hack to Site, that is what we are trying to do. Like working with the government and all, we want to change that thing. Like we want to make it easier for security researchers to report vulnerabilities to companies and government organizations, because the IT Act is outdated right now and it needs a revamp.
Right.
Considering this, how the technology is evolving so fast.
Right.
So BSNL took 2 years, is it? How long did it take?
No, for more than 2 years, it was not fixed. And once that Elliot Alderson reported, it was fixed in a day.
That long, huh?
Yeah, so they could fix it in a day. But thing is, there was no proper channel for me to reach out to them. Because Elliot Alderson had more Twitter followers than me, and the media had eyes on him. So that is what prompted the response. That shouldn't be the case.
Have they become? Have they put in an organized system now to?
No. And as far as I know, right? As far as I know, because technically, see, for example, in this GDPR and everything in the foreign countries, right? Once, let's say, some data breaches occur, right? It needs to inform the people, like, your data has been affected. Kindly change passwords and stuff. So as far as I know, nothing of that sort has been done for BSNL employees as well. Like, your email IDs has been, and some hash passwords have been leaked. You can change password. I don't even know if they are informed about this kind of an incident. All these things need to change in India.
Are the private companies?
That is the major concern as well.
What, Anand?
Sorry, I jumped in between. So that is the major concern as well. So if Indian companies get breached, right? So they won't notify their users if they got hacked or something like that. So if Sai issues was pending since last 2 years. In those 2 years, any hacker from Russia, China, or any other random country could have dumped that database or could have already gained access to that database.
Exactly.
So we don't know about it.
And
so that is the issue. And
I tweeted.
And the thing is,
go on, Anand.
Yeah, and if the thing is, if I try to report that out as an Indian citizen, right? The issue is I can be in jail. That is the problem. And if I don't report it, then my user data can get out to some other random country or to any other country.
So NASCOM and all are not trying to fix this issue?
NASCOM is not directly related to security things.
Okay, but I mean, as a lobbying thing, can't they tell the government to do something? Or I mean, is there no effort to put a policy around this?
No, as of now, there are very few policies which we exist. So even if I count the number of bounty programs across the country, I told about somewhere around 5 bounty programs. Even if we add 10 more bounty programs, that would be 50 bounty programs running in India. So that's a very less number as compared to US or any other country. And we have so many enterprises, government. Okay. Yeah, that's scary.
Okay.
You know, this Arabia Setuka bug bounty program, when it came out, I was like, that was a wow moment for me, that, you know, I was trying to do something from the government side and government itself did something on its own. I felt I was one of the happiest people at that time. That, you know, that means that they're thinking in the direction. So things are changing, but they need to change fast.
Slow.
Yeah.
Right.
There's this question from Khushbu. Once we have set up the application security program, how frequently should we run and check for security vulnerabilities? How to reduce costings while running the program? I don't understand some questions, but you might.
Yes. So when you run application security program, right, it needs to be continuous. So as a company, you would be doing multiple deployments a day. And with each of the code deployment, a security vulnerability may get introduced, which can leak your users' data. So the program needs to be continuous. And obviously, if you are a multi-billion-dollar company or multi-million-dollar company, you won't care spending some tiny amount on security every year. So, because if you end up in breach, you will end up paying a lot of fine to the government as well, which would be way higher if they compare to the revenue amount of the company.
Okay.
Even in India right now, there is that fine concept is not well defined and all. So.
Shilpa, is there?
Yeah, we have a question from Prashant Nagar. He wants to know, for someone starting bug bounty hunting, is it difficult to find bugs in companies like Google, Facebook? Any tips for freshers in bug bounty hunting? Where do we start?
So I would like to pick this up. So I found my first bug for after I think 6-7 months in Facebook.
Okay.
So I kept looking for bugs on Facebook for somewhere around 6-7 months, and I did not give up without having any resources at that point of time. There were very few resources which were available online in 2012 and 13. So if don't get demotivated at a very early stage, that is the whole thing. So try to figure out more and more issues. If you are not finding anything in Google, practice on some companies which have lower valuations than Google, who are smaller than Google. You will end up practicing and you will learn about new security stuff. And then you can try out on Facebook. Don't directly go for Facebook if you are that much scared. But I would say you should try out Facebook directly, because every day Facebook is doing lot of deployments, deployments on Google. Yeah. Yes, and it's never nothing like 100% security. So.
Right. We have another question from Sumit Gupta. How do you find vulnerability in iOS or Mac OS? Do you think Android is less secure than iOS?
Like they're talking about the operating system or the apps running on that operating system?
OS.
We right now, like, we are not doing any OS related security projects or research on that thing. We are only doing on application security and that level.
So OS is there a risk involved, or what is it?
No, not the risk involved. It's like it's a complete different ball game. So you need to and you need to spend like easily like 6 to 7 months brush upping your basics and everything and to get started in the OS security.
Oh.
And there are so many good researchers. Yeah, continue, Anand.
Yeah, so I do have some expertise, but comparing Android security versus iOS security is not a right thing. Obviously, one of them is less secure as compared to other, but that can be figured out by looking over Google or something like that. So, figuring out vulnerabilities in Android as well as in iOS are on very similar terms. So it's not that difficult to figure out vulnerabilities. And similarly with Mac OS as well. So there is a similar process: software security, application security, mobile application security. It's not like some point it's very difficult to figure out a vulnerability.
There's this question from Raj. Is the chance of finding bugs decreasing day by day? If yes, what would be the future of bug bounty hunting? That's a good question.
Yeah. So it from my point of view, it is like this. Let's say there's an application. Okay, it has some n number of vulnerabilities, and bug bounty hunters are day by day they're like figuring out vulnerabilities, and they're reporting the vulnerabilities. So with time, what happens is that these vulnerabilities they decrease. Okay. At the same time, the application is not the development is never finished, right? So there's always new features being added, and the code base is always changing, or they acquired some new product, something else came. So at the same time, it's also increasing. The landscape is also increasing.
And lots of applications being built all the time, no?
Exactly. So lots of applications are also increasing, and
so there should be
there shouldn't be any issue,
any shortage of bugs to find
anytime soon.
Right.
I agree with Sai.
Shilpa?
We have a question from Rutvik Shah. Do you find bugs in non-Indian government websites? How does that work?
That's also a problem. If a company is not having vulnerability disclosure program or a bug bounty policy, right, they can try to threaten you as well.
No, they're asking about the government, right? So for government, you can
non-government, I think.
Non-Indian.
Non-government.
Non-Indian government.
Yeah. Okay.
Non-Indian government. Non-Indian government. Okay.
Yeah.
See, some
so
countries
for non-Indian government, yeah, I think I'm not sure about it exactly. I have never tried to figure out a vulnerability in some non-Indian government. Maybe
okay.
For example, non-Indian government. So
I mean, any retail site, let's say Reliance Jio or any of these Birlas or Tatas, or none of them have any programs, is it?
No.
Nobody has.
Yeah.
I see. That's just funny. So in that case, there's a risk. Is it best to avoid them or what? I mean, there's no incentive for you to do it also, is it?
There's no incentive. Then again, I found some security vulnerabilities in some popular Android applications that I use, the Indian companies. And then I directly reached out to because it is exposing a lot of data, and their revenue, it will directly affect the revenue or whatever that's being generated, because the revenue is the content, and that content is being leaked. So I reached out to the CEO directly on LinkedIn, and then they gave us the project to find all the detail. I just reported for free that this is happening, and then in good faith they gave us the project, you please give us a detailed report, do the entire project for us, and they gave it to us. So one more thing is that if you already have some good credibility, but if you have a blog and all, right, everything helps. So you can be like a very very good and pro hacker, but if you're not publishing anything, if your name is not out there, right, people will have a hard time judging you if you are a good person or a bad person. But if you have somebody wrote LinkedIn recommendations or something, or you work for somebody that this person did good work for me, etc., then things are a little bit easier.
In that context, I just wanted to ask you this risk. Now, while you are working to find that bug, you may end up accessing somebody's passwords or some data. And while you are doing that, if the company finds out that there is a leak happening and it's you who are doing it, is that I mean, can they think that you are trying to actually
Of course,
sabotage them?
because there's no way to classify, what is the intention of the hacker, right? You just see in the logs that somebody is accessing something. Immediately you think that, okay, this person shouldn't be accessing it, but he's doing it. So again, that is where your credentials come. If they approach you, right, like, why are you doing this? You can say, I see, I'm a bug bounty hunter.
Bug bounty
you
hunter.
can go and see my profile.
Okay.
So I wanted to report. I reported to these companies.
But for a first timer and all that, is that a risk?
It's a little bit of risk.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That is why, but there are already so many bug bounty programs for big MNCs, right? So you can build a reputation first, and then you can start divulging into this path.
Okay. Okay. Lots of questions coming in now, Shilpa.
Yeah. We have a question from Anaksha. Do CTFs help in learning hacking and bug bounty hunting? Any tips for people who are starting out in CTFs about how to find a team, how to find information on upcoming events?
Okay, that's a very nice question. That is how I literally started doing CTF Capture the Flag contest. And the team is also a very big issue because most of the CTF contests are done in teams, right? I find all my teams on Twitter only because people keep on posting about in India already all the education institutions, right? All the good ones, they have some kind of CTF teams, the people who are enthusiastic, right? Because they take it very seriously. Previously, CTF contest used to happen like one in like 2 months, 3 months, as a. Right now it's happening like every weekend. So the competitions are happening. It's so much fun because in bug bounty, right, you don't know if there's a vulnerability or not. It's just guesswork. In CTF, you know that there is for sure there's a vulnerability. So you can give your 100% energy in finding that vulnerability. So it gives a satisfaction. And if you're participating in some good CTF contest, right? Let's say any latest trend that is going on in bug bounties or anything, right? There's some new technique came or something, they convert it into a challenge and then they host it. So there was this one time I was doing a CTF contest. It was very difficult, like I was not able to solve it, but I know, like, what technology they're using and stuff. And there was a GitHub issue which was 3 days ago. There was an issue on GitHub, that security issue somebody raised on GitHub. So I went into the issues for that, and then I saw that you can using this, you can break this thing like this. So I had to use that thing so that this application is hacked. So that is how much up to date the CTF contest can be. So it is a nice opportunity because I was not aware of that thing until the CTF is done. So that is one reason I keep on doing CTF, a good CTF contest, because they give me insights into what is going on right now. And having a team, right? So there are so many Discord groups also for information security. You can join them, like anytime there's a event going on, people post like, I'm looking for a team, and you can just say I'm interested, and you guys can hit it off.
Right.
Okay, lots of questions. So, okay, this is interesting. What is your opinion for a college student who is going to face placements shortly? Should I sit for placements or take bug bounty full time? I'm currently in the top 400 on bug crowd.
Anand,
and there's a similar question. I mean, there's something related to bug crowd by Abhinav Saxena. He says hacker one or bug crowd. What do you prefer?
So you cannot compare both the platforms because both are leading bug bounty platforms, both HackerOne and Bugcrowd. And regarding the college placements, right? Definitely you can get a job. Try looking out for security engineer openings on a lot of startups, and you can get a job. You shouldn't wait for the placements as such.
Exactly. I would also say this, that because you are already in top 400 in Bugcrowd, right? So
Yes.
that means like your stuff. So there's no point for waiting for placements. I mean, all of my friends who are confident that they would get a job, they just applied off campus way before placements. So
what does it mean to be 400 in Bugcrowd? What is this ranking?
They have a ranking worldwide. So among all the hackers in the world, for every report you do, you will get certain number of points, and depending on the severity, etc., you get some points. and based on those points, he's on the top 400. He's the top 400th hacker in the Buckroad platform.
Oh, that's
in the
good,
world.
no? That's good,
yeah,
no?
yeah. So if you know, if you follow any, for example, if you are following any security researchers from Indian community, right, who are working, for example, for Zomato, people are on Twitter, and the Grofers people are on Twitter. All the security engineers are on Twitter. So you can directly reach out to them and ask, like, are there any positions open, and you can share your credentials, and your job will be easier.
Okay. You have time, no, Sai and Anand? Lots of questions, so we could go on for a little more time. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Shilpa?
So there's a question: do companies invite bug bounty hunters, ethical hackers, or some sort of a penetration testing?
Yes, they do. They do.
Okay. Which kind of companies are these?
So any MNC or any company who would like to strengthen their systems or application security, right? They look at the top researchers' profile on HackerOne or Bugcrowd, and then they do invite them to figure out vulnerabilities. This has happened with me too in the past when I was a bug bounty hunter.
Okay.
So in India, for the first time, right, the Hackru organized a kind of the similar live hacking event for the Telangana government. So we approached the Telangana government. We told them that there might be security vulnerabilities in your applications and all. They were like, we don't think so. We were like, so we can do one thing as a proof of concept. We can do this live hacking event, and then we will know, because all these applications get audited, because every government application that is being deployed has to get audited by a certain empaneled organization, empaneled company. So they need to be secure. But then there is a chance that they're vulnerability. So we did that live hacking event, and we chose 30 best hackers from Telangana only, and then we kept that event.
Okay.
We have a question from Shravani. How do you report any bug to a company that doesn't have a VDP?
Again,
I don't report. It's a risk, but if the other person is good, so let's take an example. So I think 2-3 years back, I was trying to report a very big issue in a very big insurance company of India. After having a very good profile, good media profile, good profile in bug bounty hunter, the guy over there, the CISO over there, called me and started asking a lot of questions. They wanted to show a legal thing in that sense. Yes.
Okay.
So it totally depends on the person who is sitting on the other side of it. They don't have a VDP or a bug bounty program. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and it has happened with me in the past.
Same with me. Even I had some bad memories, and I had some good memories as well, where I got projects in return. So it depends on the people in the organization.
On the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. There's this question, the name is not there, but what are some of the common web security mistakes you guys discovered, like cross-site scripting?
Go ahead,
the
Anand.
most common one, so the most common one, which I would say, is insecure direct object reference. That is, Sudhit or Shilpa is logged into their Amazon or Flipkart account or some other random account, and I am able to see their information. So, for example, if you have an order ID which is order number 123, and if I am logged into my account, and if I change that order ID to 245 or to 123, which is yours, then I would be able to see your information without any authorization. That's a very simple bug, even layman can understand.
Yeah, that is what even I was going to say, because process scripting, these are all are there, but IDORs are what breaks the applications, because user information gets leaked in IDORs a lot.
Okay. What about this XSS thing that he mentioned?
those exist.
That's also very common.
That's also there.
But
That's common.
IDORs
Yeah.
are also very common.
Also common. That is why
Okay.
all of these are in the OWASP top 10 list, because they are the top 10.
Yes. Top 10
Okay.
vulnerabilities.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We have a question from John. How do police recruit people for cybercrime department? Did you ever get an opportunity to work with the police?
I think Anand did an
I
internship.
worked with,
Yeah.
so I did an internship with cybercrime Gurgaon police in 2013. And the current batch is also going on. So they put up internship for college students who can learn more about cybersecurity. But to very frank, I'm not sure about the recruitment process as such. That is after the internship, if they recruit you or not. But sometimes they do offer if you are exceptional in that field.
I have no clue about the recruitment as well, but I worked with the Assam Police Special Branch when I was studying in Guwahati. I don't know how they got to know about me, but they got my number, and they once called me to their building, and they're like, we are working in these areas, so will you be interested? So I spent quite a good time there. It was very interesting as well.
Have any of you tried the US Department of Defense or Singapore military or anything?
No, I didn't do on that. I try to find stuff on Indian government stuff, and then try to just get contact and try to convince them to start a VDP.
I did on that, but the thing is, most of them will have citizenship requirements of that respective company. If you want to get hired in that particular government organization.
If you want to get hired by US Department of Defense or something, right, they would have citizenship requirements that you need to be an American citizen, etc., etc. You can report bugs for free because they will fix it, but but if you want to, they want to hire you, right, then you need to be a citizen.
Okay.
They don't trust you further.
They don't have bounty programs.
No, they occasionally
they have
they have a bounty program. They have a VDP as well.
Okay. It always happens because people are in a hurry to, not sometimes not even in a hurry. I mean, there always be bugs, is it? Despite, even if a large corporation like, I don't know, Microsoft, Cisco, I mean, when they put out a software, I mean,
any organization will have bugs. Nothing is like, completely hack proof or something. Everything has bugs. But one thing that bothers me is that, there is this mentality with the Indian ecosystem, right? They think that, they see it as an ego issue. Like, if we report an security vulnerability to somebody, they think, how dare you, how can you find something like that?
You are so good.
So I think if you can change that into a positive light, that, okay, cool, if they acknowledge and then, thank you for reporting it to us, we will, and, helping secure our user data, etc. It is a win-win situation for both of us. So that is what we are trying to bring, the perception change.
No, we need to. India has to change.
Because the talent is here. India
exactly.
India has the potential to become the cybersecurity hub in the world. But it's up to us, how we utilize the talent.
Utilize it. Okay, great. Shilpa, I'm done.
Yeah, we have a question from Abhinav. What are your thoughts on GitHub Recon?
Go ahead.
So, Recon is always helpful. If you can do Recon on GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, you can figure out subdomains. That will always be helpful because that is the first step when you try to ethically hack into a target. So you should try doing Recon, but from a personal point of view, I have always tried finding out vulnerabilities on the main websites rather than doing Recon. For example, directly trying to hack into facebook.com rather than onto some other site. But Recon is really helpful and may uncover a lot of P0 security vulnerabilities if you are really good at it.
Let me clarify, what is Recon, by the way?
Reconnaissance. Basically, let's say developers, right? They have accounts on GitHub, etc.
Right.
They push their own code. Let's say you are a developer for some company, and then you basically made some small application for the company, and you push that code into your GitHub account, thinking that nobody would see it or something. Let's say
Oh,
3-4 years, and let's say there are like some passwords that are hard coded and stuff, that are you push them onto your GitHub branch. Let's say 3-4 years ago that same password is being used, and somebody saw that Acha, I want to get all information that's related to this domain, and they do a search on GitHub, they get it, they see that Acha, this guy has this password, let me try, and then it will log in. So it happens quite often actually. The developers leave their passwords and hard-coded passwords and API keys, etc., on GitHub.
okay. Shilpa, want to?
Yeah. Thank you, Anand and Sai. We've exceeded our time, and there was an overwhelming response from our audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very interesting to hear both of you, and it was a good primer on bug bounty hunting. And it'll be great if you can share some of the videos and some literature around bug bounty hunting that will help some of them, start up. So thank you so much for your time. Sai has joined us from Vizag and Anand from Rajasthan. So thanks so much for your time. It was really interesting, and thanks for all for sharing those insights with us.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Stay safe.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.